Welcome back to the Missing 411 podcast, where we dedicate ourselves to analyzing the baffling, the unexplained, and the cases that the mainstream media is always too quick to simply dismiss. Tonight, we are journeying deep into the heart of the Sierra Nevada mountains in California, focusing on an area that has, over time, become something truly unsettling. We've defined it as a concentrated zone, what we call a cluster of persistent and strange activity surrounding Dinky Creek. This isn't just a place for hiking. It's a nexus of the unknown. We've shared many isolated stories from this region before, but today we're presenting the full wrap-up. This is a comprehensive look at everything reported, because when we seriously investigate disappearances, when we analyze a classic Missing 411 case, we have to survey the entire paranormal landscape. We have to ask the fundamental question: what unknown force, what unseen influence, could be the propagating cause behind these baffling issues that hikers, hunters, and campers continually run into? The answer, as we shall see, is more complex than a simple predator. If you insist on keeping your head firmly in the sand, if you only look straight ahead with a complete, debilitating tunnel vision, you are guaranteed to miss the majority of the life and the disturbing unlife that is happening all around you. I understand there are listeners who simply cannot handle the truth of this. It gives them far too much anxiety. If that's you, then perhaps now is the time to move on. But for those of us who are truly ready to dissect the weird, the unsettling, and the potentially dangerous, hold on to your seats. We're going to talk about specific events today that were reported by people just like you, all centered in that Dinky Creek area, and the closely linked Shaver and Huntington Lakes. The sources for this explosive material are varied and credible. We'll be meticulously discussing a series of highly unusual UFO sightings pulled directly from reputable reporting centers and their archives. Simultaneously, we will analyze several extremely detailed Bigfoot sightings, or what you might prefer to call cryptids, shared directly through confidential submissions to our research team. If you are one of those who love hearing the direct reports, who loves wrestling with the mystery of these sightings, then hang in there. We are about to connect some very strange and unsettling dots. We begin our deep dive with a fascinating email recently sent to us, detailing an area slightly southwest of the main activity, Avocado Lake, near Fresno. The contributor first pointed us towards searching Avocado Lake Bigfoot. They correctly noted that this entire geography is connected. Fresno is here, Avocado Lake is here, and if you continue heading east into the dense mountains, you pass through Pine Flat and eventually arrive at the Dinky Creek anomaly zone. This interconnected habitat is critically important for understanding the movements of these large cryptids. The core of the story is extraordinary. It was submitted by multiple ranchers, and it detailed an incident where one farmer witnessed a terrifying group of 5 to 6 Bigfoot creatures on his property during the darkest hours of the night. According to the account, one of these behemoths was observed carrying a whole, freshly caught wild boar right over its shoulder. The farmer then detailed the exact incident where the massive creature, running at full speed, tripped over a low-lying irrigation pipe. The stolen pig was sent flying through the air, a shocking sight against the night sky. But the true nature of the cryptid was revealed next. The creature immediately recovered, leaped up, grabbed the heavy pig, and continued its powerful, rapid run as if nothing had happened. This type of extraordinary strength and determination strongly suggests a family unit of these massive creatures operating in the borderlands where the Sierra Nevada dramatically meets the valley. This area provides a perfect, easily accessible food source. This isn't simple misidentification. This is a clear indication of a powerful, organized, and predatory non-human presence. I vividly recall a separate, but related, report I received years ago while I was residing on the coast in Santa Cruz. A person who owned an avocado farm near Watsonville called me in a panic. He pleaded, "I've owned this ranch for 25 years, and I've never seen this. You must come see it now." What I observed was disturbing. A vast scattering of 60, possibly 70, avocado pits on the ground. It looked as though something had put each fruit in its mouth, bit down, expertly consumed the inside, and then neatly spit the pit and the skin out over and over again. It proves that these large cryptids are both highly adaptable and capable of using the human agricultural environment as a personal food source. Now, let's move our focus directly closer to the Dinky Creek heartland. We have a couple of truly harrowing close encounter stories from hunters who were operating near the primary anomaly zone. One occurred in 1998, just 1.2 miles south of the Dinky Creek Bridge. A hunter, using only a bow, was moving off-trail when he approached a drop-off to scope the land for game. He was barely 20 feet from a young pine tree when he saw it. A towering Bigfoot, partially obscured, with its huge hands carefully separating the branches, simply watching him. The facial description aligns terrifyingly with many of our most unsettling missing 411 reports. A truly colossal, man-like face, dark skin stretched taut, and disturbingly visible, blinking eyes. The face itself was estimated at a frightening 9 to 10 inches high. When this massive creature realized it had been noticed, it bolted toward a low ledge, covering the 8 feet in just 2 superhuman steps. The hunter estimated it at 9 to 10 feet tall, reddish-brown, and a colossal 4 feet across the shoulder. The most bizarre and inexplicable part of the creature's escape was that it never released its grip on the young pine tree. It violently ripped the tree out of the ground, using it as a kind of organic lever, creating a massive cloud of dust before it leaped off the ledge. As it ran, it sounded like a freight train crashing through the thick brush. The same hunter had previously been terrorized in that area by a large, 8-inch dried pine cone that was thrown with high velocity over his head. No trees were overhead, suggesting a targeted, long-range throw. These are classic missing 411 encounter behaviors: intimidation and object throwing. We now shift our investigation to an encounter near Huntington Lake, the next major body of water up from Shaver. This happened in 1995 at Mono Creek Campground and details a strange element often reported in paranormal activity near missing 411 clusters. 2 fishing partners were walking along the river when one abruptly spotted a creature. A massive Bigfoot, perhaps 8 feet tall, covered in reddish-brown and black hair. But before the observer could even utter a word, a crushing, nauseating smell hit them both. They described the scent as wet, aggressively moldy, and overwhelmingly musky. It was like nothing they had ever encountered in the natural world. When they moved closer to the precise spot where the creature had been standing, the smell intensified, becoming almost unbearable. But here is the critical, truly terrifying detail. Both men suddenly felt an almost hypnotic sensation take over their bodies. They were paralyzed, completely frozen in time and space. They could do nothing but watch as the creature took impossibly huge strides up the mountain and vanished over the ridge. The witness later vividly recalled the chilling Native American lore. Never look a Bigfoot in the eye, because they possess the power to paralyze or hypnotize you. The feeling they went through, the profound, drugged, frozen sensation, is strongly reminiscent of descriptions found not just in cryptid encounters, but in potential alien abduction scenarios as well. This suggests that the Dinky Creek Bigfoot itself may harness an innate defense mechanism, an awe-inducing chemical odor or perhaps a low-level, terrifying psychic ability that instantly renders witnesses helpless and immobile. This truly blurs the line between a mere physical creature and a purely paranormal force. It is now undeniable that the Dinky Creek area sustains a significant, potentially psychic, cryptid population. But we must ask, is that the complete story? When we observe such an acute concentration of unexplained phenomena, we often discover a direct link to other, more technologically advanced forces. This brings us squarely to the unsettling frequency of UFOs, unidentified aerial phenomena, that are routinely and credibly reported around the adjacent Shaver Lake. Dinky Creek and Shaver Lake are geographically inseparable in the high Sierras. We must assume what happens in one directly impacts the other. Let's examine a few chilling examples from the UFO reports. In May 2021, a witness reported seeing a string of lights flying in a straight line west to east, just above the tree line. The crucial, unsettling detail? There were estimated to be over 100 lights. While the witness was aware of Starlink satellites, they believed there were simply far too many, moving too purposefully. This was a massive, silent fleet crossing the sky. Then we have the time travel mystery reported in February 2001. This is arguably the most frightening report from the area. 2 men were on Bald Mountain near Shaver Lake when they spotted a massive triangular craft, estimated at a minimum of 100 yards across, moving unnaturally slowly, too slow for any normal aircraft to remain airborne. It displayed 7 non-flashing, crimson-red lights. The moment one of the men shined a high-powered flashlight at it, the silent craft immediately retaliated, shining a blindingly bright light right back at them. The true terror of that night was revealed later. The very next thing the men clearly remembered was that their entire trip was inexplicably cut short, and they were driving home. They had experienced a profound loss of time. Both men, to this day, struggle to recall the events immediately following the light exchange. This is a textbook indicator of alien abduction or perhaps a time slip, a sudden, localized dimensional rift often hypothesized in baffling missing 411 cases. The object possessed the power to manipulate their memory and perception of reality itself. So, what conclusion can the Missing 411 podcast draw from this mounting evidence? We are clearly looking at a powerful cluster where technologically advanced craft are sharing a highly concentrated airspace with massive, paranormal-capable cryptids. It seems more than reasonable to theorize that Dinky Creek is not merely a place of random activity, but a vortex, a terrifying, active zone where anomalous intersections are commonplace. The central question remains, why the disappearances? Why are people consistently going missing 411 in this exact, dangerous cluster? Let's attempt to connect all the evidence and propose a unified theory. We know from detailed reports near other infamous active sites, such as the famous Skinwalker Ranch in Utah, that paranormal activity, Bigfoot, UFOs, and spontaneous portals almost always occur in the same extremely limited geographic proximity. Our hypothesis is that the Dinky Creek/Shaver Lake cluster is host to an active, but perhaps subtle, dimensional rift or gateway. This rift is not constantly open, but flickers, perhaps in unpredictable relation to sudden magnetic, geological, or atmospheric instability. The cryptids, the Bigfoots, are highly adapted to this volatile environment. Their sudden hypnotic powers and the overwhelming, debilitating odor they emit might be a severe side effect of existing partially interdimensionally, or they could be a purely natural defense against the terrifying instability of the rift itself. Meanwhile, the advanced, silent craft, like the massive triangular UAP that caused the missing time, are either skillfully using this inherent dimensional instability for near-instantaneous travel, or they are drawn to the location to scientifically study the rare phenomena and its effect on the native environment and the unfortunate human population. This brings us back to the disappearances. When this dimensional rift opens, even for a few fleeting seconds, it creates a weakness in the very fabric of space and time. A hiker focused on the trail or a hunter, suddenly paralyzed by a Bigfoot, could step directly into a microvortex. This could result in 2 distinct types of missing 411 outcomes. Either a targeted alien abduction, as suggested by the time loss near the triangular craft, or a complete time travel mystery, where the victim is spat out far away, or even into an entirely different point in time. The common and terrifying factor in so many classic missing 411 cases is the sheer, inexplicable lack of evidence. No tracks, no struggle, just a perfect, seamless vanishing. The Dinky Creek cluster, with its unique and potent blend of powerful, territorial cryptids and silent, dimension-bending craft, provides a plausible, though absolutely terrifying, context for these ultimate mysteries. When you find yourself hiking the Sierras, especially near Shaver Lake or Dinky Creek, remember this entire story. Look up, look down, and look all around. The risk of becoming an uninvestigated statistic in a missing 411 file is very real in this incredibly active zone. We will be diligently following up on the Mono Creek hypnotic smell incident and the Shaver Lake time loss event. The collected stories are far too consistent, and they demand further, immediate investigation. Thank you for tuning in to the Missing 411 podcast. Stay safe out there.